Hello and welcome to Thought for the Day from St Peter's Bexhill, where we're on the second part of the Samson story. This is called Samson and the Philistines. Things start badly, but see where they go. When the Philistines captured Samson, they poked out his eyes, bound him with strong ropes, and threw him in a prison. They chained him to a great stone wheel, and day after day he pushed the wheel to grind their corn. They thought they'd beaten him for good, but Samson's hair began to grow again, and week by week, month by month, his hair just kept on growing. Some time later, the Philistines decided to have a big party to celebrate Samson's capture and to thank their god Dagon for delivering him into their hands. But they didn't count on the one true God, the God who had given Samson his strength and who still wanted to use him to protect his people. There were more than 3,000 Philistines gathered in the temple on that day. The place was packed, and in the middle of the celebration, the rulers had Samson dragged before them. The people laughed and clapped when they saw him. "Our God has beaten our enemy," they cheered, "the one who caused us so much trouble." And when they were done laughing, Samson was dragged to stand near the pillars of the temple. But Samson had one more idea, one last clever plan to defeat his enemies. "You know I'm blind," said Samson to the man who guarded him. "Put me where I can feel the pillars, please, so I can lean against them." And that's what the servant did. He took Samson to stand between the pillars that supported the whole of the temple. "Dear Lord," prayed Samson, "the only strength I ever had came from you. I remember that now. So I ask that you remember me and give me that strength just one more time." And with his left hand on one pillar and his right hand on another, he began to push. He pushed, and the pillars creaked. He pushed, and the pillars cracked. He pushed, and the pillars crumbled. He pushed, and the pillars collapsed. And when they did, the whole of the temple came crashing down with them. It crashed down on the Philistines. It crashed down on their rulers. And sadly, it crashed down on Samson too. "Let me die with the Philistines," Samson cried to heaven. And so he did, killing many more in his death than he'd ever done in his life, and doing what God had asked him to do, protecting his people from their enemy. Amen.